It's time for the 1430 Connection on 1430 WNAV and 99.9 FM, spotlighting news, newsmakers, and important community issues. Now, with this week's edition of the 1430 Connection, here is WNAV news anchor Donna Cole.
Welcome to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. Once again, I welcome Patti White and Lee Anderson. They are co-founders and co-directors of the Annapolis Film Festival. Thank you again, ladies, for joining me.
Good morning, Donna.
Good morning. We wouldn't miss this. It's an annual event.
It is an annual event. Opening night is March 26th. It runs through March 29th. That's 4 days and more than 70 films, yes?
And lots of good ones, too.
All right, lots of good ones. Let's talk about opening night film first.
Well,
Patti.
opening night, we have a film called Military Wives. And Military Wives is a British film. It's inspired by a true story about a group of military army wives who were sending off their husbands and spouses to Afghanistan. And they realized that
Royal Army, or British
Army,
Okay,
British Army, and they realized that they didn't like the role of sitting home, doing nothing, waiting, and having no impact because they're serving as well. And because once that happens, you know, the whole family's in.
Absolutely.
And so they decided to do something with their lives collectively, and they form a choir. And it's humorous and it's poignant, and it has a lot of brings up a lot of feelings.
And you saw it where?
We haven't seen it.
You two have not
well,
seen
it. Our director of programming saw it at
Yes.
TIFF.
This is Derek?
And yes,
Okay.
Derek Horn.
Toronto.
And we
He was in
also
Toronto.
have seen the trailer and know a lot about it.
But the director is Peter Cataneo, who's the British director that also did The Full Monty.
Mm-hmm. And
So-
I understand there's an announcement about that.
Yes, he will be coming on opening night. He'll be on our red carpet. We're very excited about that. He's a terrific director, and it's great to have someone from across the pond.
Absolutely. And there's got to be so much humor between the Full Monty, the British sense of humor. I'm going to guess some of these ladies have absolutely zero experience in singing.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, Kristen Scott Thomas is the lead, and she's always wonderful. And Sharon Horgan, who's star of Catastrophe and a very famous British actress. She's wonderful.
And for those of you that don't have tickets yet, they go on sale
March 3rd.
March 3rd.
Passes are on sale now, though, and they're going quickly. So you can get a regular festival pass. It gets you into unlimited films and panels, opening night and the after party. Now you can buy an individual premium pass for an upgrade to $300. It gets you into 3 parties, gets you in the priority line, and unlimited films and panels.
And those parties, they are catered to the max. They are delicious food, lots of drinks, lots of fun. I should tell you, full disclosure, I've been involved with the Annapolis Film Festival since its inception. I am a photographer, and I would not miss it. Lots of great films and great parties and connections made, yeah.
Well, you've helped tell some of those stories that happen at the festival, which are really, really important. And we're trying hard this year to educate people a little bit more about those kind of impact stories that have kind of changed lives or changed perspectives and what it really means to bring the community together and use film as a platform to join everybody instead of divide everybody.
Do you know I can't walk into a library anymore without seeing that other side to libraries? Do you know why? Go ahead. Say, what was the film?
The public.
Exactly. I can't. I mean, my view on libraries has completely changed. And I saw it not long ago in Salisbury, Maryland. I saw it in New York City.
Homeless people.
The homeless
I saw
people in the library.
Yeah.
Well, this is something I think so many people didn't know. What I heard after we showed that film here, that people said, we had no idea that homeless people chose the library as a place to find safety. And it's so interesting that it's happening everywhere in the country, but people don't really know about it.
But it's being rethought. I mean, people are actually putting positions of social workers in libraries now, and they're planning differently, and they're seeing it differently.
Even here in Anne Arundel County. Yes.
And that's the impact of a film festival and sharing different kinds of stories with a community.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the 1430 Connection. Welcome back to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. In the studio with me is Lee Anderson and Patti White. They are the co-founders and co-directors of the Annapolis Film Festival, taking place here in Annapolis, March 26th through March 29th. passes you can get on sale. They're on sale now, and individual tickets, will go on sale March 3rd, AnnapolisFilmFestival.org, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, tell me about all the other films.
Wow,
my
where do we
goodness.
start?
Well,
Dogs. Let's start with dogs.
Oh, okay.
Well, the title tells a lot. Shepherd, the story of a Jewish dog.
Right, and it's a beautiful story about a couple of kids and their family that live in pre-Hitler Hungary. It's just before it all begins. It's coming to a head, and they're starting to realize their lives are going to change. And they have a couple of dogs, and what happens is, this is something I think most people don't even know. There was a law that said Jewish people couldn't own a dog. So they started to try to give away their dogs before they were taken from them. And this is a story when they have to choose, which dog that they're going to keep, and then they keep one, and then they realize they have to give that dog away. And then this is the
boy's
journey.
best friend.
This is the journey of the dog who becomes basically an SS dog. And then I don't want to tell.
Okay, don't give
what
it away.
happens,
This is
but
like the Sophie's Choice of dog
yes,
movies.
it is
But-
a
okay.
really inspired story, and it's told sort of from the kid point of view, even though it's really not his story, but you feel and see what his journey is.
For those that have been to the Annapolis Film Festival, or those that haven't, there are several different experiences. The Jewish experience, the African American experience, there's films about boats, and the environmental films.
Right.
So there is something for everybody. It's very inclusive.
Actually, we're taking a foreign film called The Perfect Candidate, which we're really excited about.
It opened
It's
Sundance.
Haifa's Al Mansour's film, and she did Watcha, which she won a lot of awards for. And she's this Saudi Arabian female film director, which is
hard
really,
enough.
really an unusual thing. And so this film, she's had her own journey, and this film is about a young Saudi doctor who is fighting for the rights for the change in her hospital, and then she decides to run for office.
Wow.
And even though people are sort of behind her as a person, they can't get over the fact that she's a female running for office in Saudi Arabia.
That is, yeah.
And it's a narrative feature, so it's not a documentary.
Right.
So it's I think it's people are going to love this film.
That's a perfect candidate.
Yeah.
We're also taking a really interesting film called Changing the Game. Mm-hmm. That's an LGBTQ film, but it's centered around young people who are athletes at the top of their game, and they're not only dealing with being champions, but dealing with fairness and discrimination in sports.
And which film are you most excited about?
We have a really interesting documentary called The Painter and the Thief, and it's just off of Sundance. It's a really interesting doc about an artist who her paintings are stolen by a thief. And it turns out that they find out who the thief is, and the thief has a car accident. And she actually connects to the thief. And that's all I'm going to tell you there too.
That's
but it's a doc, so
Yeah.
it's a true story. It's not. This is not a feature film.
Big film that you had last year, The Farm, the
Biggest Little Farm.
Biggest Little Farm.
Yes.
Which I think a lot of people were surprised that it didn't do better at the Oscars, right?
But it won Best of Fest and the jury prize here.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, it did.
So, what's that film? What do you think that film is going to be this year?
Well, there's a film called Spaceship Earth that we're
Yes.
taking.
Yeah.
And it's not our environmental film this year, but it's going to be across
It's in
the
that
board.
skein. It's a science-y doc.
It's a bunch of our genius scientists who build the biosphere in Arizona and go and live in it. And this is their story.
All right.
So I think it's pretty
Our
good.
programmer watched it and said, now I feel completely inadequate because there are such geniuses, what they've done with their life. So, and it's humorous and it's funny. We do have another film for the Environmental Showcase, though, that is called The Story of Plastic. We have a lot of it. Nobody knows what to do with it. So it's a very interesting look at how to solve that problem today.
Stop buying it.
Yeah,
Stop buying it,
exactly.
stop using it, stop
Well-
throwing it away in the wrong place.
Yeah.
It also has some resolutions. It's not
Yes.
just a film about everything that's wrong. It shows us some direction.
One of the days that I love seeing, which not everybody gets to see, is that educational day.
Yes.
Where the kids come in from schools, they
Yes.
crowd into the main theater at Maryland Hall. It's the most inspiring thing to see these kids transformed by film, some message in a film. What is that this year?
We're not exactly sure. We have we've got something out that we're waiting to find out if
Waiting
we
on
get
approval.
And we have a couple of backups in between. So I'd rather not go there. But it's going to be, we're going to have a wonderful film for them. And we're also going to have a really good African-American experience. We're not exactly sure it's all playing out now in the decision making. We do have a really interesting film called Ringside.
Yes.
About two young boxers. It's 8 years of their lives from when they're young through their young adulthood, and
they're
south side of
Chicago, right?
Well, that's quite an investment in filmmaking, isn't it?
Yes,
right.
And the director's British also, and the kids are just inspiring. But I really like the relationship between the one father and the one son in the story.
What's interesting in this movie is that it's about boxing, but it's not about boxing. It's about
life.
family. It's about
neighborhood.
these father-son relationships. It's about poverty. It's about education. It's about a lot of other things as well.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back on the 1430 Connection. Welcome back to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. In the studio with me is Patti White and Lee Anderson. They are the co-founders and co-directors of the Annapolis Film Festival, now in year 8. It runs March 26th through the 29th. More information at AnnapolisFilmFestival.org. Ladies, I recently had the chance to see Gina Davis speak. Gina Davis, as we all know, is a wonderful actress, but she's also founded the Gina Davis Institute on Gender in Media. She founded that in 2004. It's the only organization currently working collaboratively within the entertainment industry to engage, educate, and influence the creation of gender-balanced on-screen portrayals, reducing harmful stereotypes, and creating an abundance of unique and intersectional female characters in entertainment targeting children 11 and under. And it's very important that this happens because there's not enough women being portrayed in film. There's not enough women at as directors,
at the helm.
And another industry that shoots off of that, although not concerned with Gina Davis, film critics, still overwhelmingly male and white. And as much as Hollywood dictates what we see, the critics can influence that too. You
Absolutely.
are two women at the head of this film festival. You're in a unique position to change this too, yeah?
Well, and Gina Davis has her own film festival too in Bentonville.
Right, exactly.
And Gina Davis was actually in a film we had last year about this very subject.
Right.
That Tom Donahue's film.
Yes.
And so it's a big story. It's interesting because we founded this as two women. Our staff is predominantly women, and they're mighty. They're mighty as hell.
This is a major group.
They're tough, and they know what they're going after. And we have some great guys that are working with us as well. But the blend with women in control, so to speak, it's really unique, and it's going really well. I mean, we know what we're doing.
And it's a different kind of environment because we've had years where we had more male influence during festival in the earlier days, and it's an interesting flip to see. I mean, nobody has to worry about the dishes being cleaned up or the trash taken out in our office. It's always done. But more than that, it's a different touch in terms of planning and thinking through some of the ways we approach things and do things. So,
are you thinking about that? Like,
yes.
Like who? I know Derek's out there at the film festivals.
Right.
You all are out there at the film festivals too. Is there a credo that's sent down? Is there, hey, make sure to look for this, this, and this?
Well, we're all about finding the best films. Okay, so
Yes.
that's the thing. It's looking at, but while we're doing that, we're also trying to include, because we are a very diverse and inclusive festival. There's no doubt about it.
That is part of our creed.
That's who we are, and that's our mission from the beginning, and that includes everything, across the board. But when we go to festivals to look, and when Derek goes to festivals to look, we're looking for the best films. But when something rises to the top and it's got a female lead or a female director or an African-American lead or an African-American director or someone, Hispanic or whatever, LGBTQ, we're gonna look harder. We're gonna see where they are, and we want to help the emerging filmmakers. We want to help people who need a chance, who have a voice, and their voice is clear.
When you think about the percentages that Gina Davis collected in her data,
it's crazy.
She did this because she got tired of being a female actress, walking into boardrooms and pitches and everything else. And she had power then after Thelma and Louise. And she kept hearing everybody go, we hired tons of women. We hired tons of minorities. What are you talking about? And she thought, you know what?
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to show
research.
you.
Yep.
I'm going to get the data. And she walked in and she
research.
threw the big, thick book on the thing and said, you're wrong. 4% of females are directors. 14% are cinematographers. This is not equality.
Right.
And if you see now a lot the women, the Reese Witherspoons and the Charlize Therons, and
That's so
they're all
powerful,
making
yeah.
they're building their own
producing.
companies. They're
Right.
saying this isn't right. We're going to have the power, and the power is in the producing offices as well. So it's not just being a director or getting on the screen. Who's producing? Who's controlling the money? The
For
films,
years,
it's everything.
years and years and years, women are always in these more subservient roles in this industry and being the right hand, doing much of the work and learning how to do the work, but not in the power position. So it's shifting now, and it should.
What I tell men who are worried or complaining, I say, you know what? The pendulum was so far over here, and if you think it's going a little far over there, it really isn't statistically. But when it comes back to the middle and it's fair, that's when we're in the right place.
Good for you. You had some other films you wanted to highlight before we run out of time?
Well, some that relate to this.
Yeah.
We're taking a really interesting first-time director film from a young director. It's called Test Pattern, and it's Shatara Michelle Ford's first feature film. And it's an interesting story about an interracial relationship, and a girl goes out with her girlfriend, and other guys drug them in their drink, and she has to come back and tell her boyfriend what happened. And then it's about the disparity in
She
the
was
way she's
sexually
treated.
attacked,
She's
you know.
assaulted, and it's all viewed from a different lens. It shouldn't be. And it's a very powerful first film. We love this as a first-time
Right.
work of a young director. She's from Philly. She'll be here. And two of the actresses in the film are actually Maryland-based actresses.
And at least one is coming. We're not sure about the other one yet. But
So that's
they're
a
from-
powerful story. Another one that we have that is really pointing out this sort of disparity is it's a combo. We have a short film that leads into a feature doc. The short film is called Knock Down the Fences, and it is about A.J. Andrews, the first woman to ever win the Rawlings Golden Glove.
Nice.
And she's coming. She will be here.
She'll be on the red carpet.
And we're setting up something at the school to have her do some outreach with girls over there. And she's just a knockout character. She's just amazing young woman.
She's a super athlete, and her film. She trains, works, and she doesn't get paid to play professional softball. She's not really paid to do that job.
Well, they're paid, but they're paid very
It's
little.
very little.
Sounds a lot like
And then the film,
same idea.
Yeah, exactly. And then the film that follows it is called A Woman's Work. It's the NFL cheerleader story.
And it's these cheerleaders that, when you first see them in the film, they're what you think a cheerleader is, Then a couple of them start to realize how they're being taken advantage of and what's going on and how they're being made to feel.
I know some of those cheerleaders, and there are PhDs, and there are scientists,
Exactly.
and there's doctors,
Yes.
and there's so yes, no judgment here.
Yeah, and
we need to-
it's a job to do that.
Right.
It is a job to do that. Exactly right. Again, March 26th through the 29th, 4 days, more than 70 films, AnnapolisFilmFestival.org. Thank you, ladies. I can't wait to see it this year.
It's going to be a good one.
Well, we're excited for you to be there.
This is Donna Cole on the 1430 Connection. We'll see you next week.